and welcome back to Identity Insights by Indicio. I'm your host, Tim Spring, and today I'm joined by Indicio Deputy CTO Sam Curren, and he's here to discuss the new Indicio Proven Mediator Service. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us today, Sam. Would you mind starting us off with a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm an architect and deputy CTO for Indicio, and involved in both a bunch of the community support things that we do, as well as the working with customers and providing solutions for what they need.
All right, awesome. And what is this new service that Indicio is providing?
So a mediator plays a small but important role in the operation of DIDCOM. DIDCOM is a message-based protocol that allows different devices or services online to communicate, and it's important to allow mobile phones and the other devices that humans use to be able to interact using this technology, so they could be full participants in their trusted online interactions. Because things like phones are not on all the time, they have limited battery life, cell signal can go in and out. You need a way to enable reliable message delivery to these mobile devices, and that's what a mediator does. It receives a message and then makes it available, when the phone does come back online, so that the message can be delivered to the mobile user without interruption and without concern of the message sender on the other side. So it provides that really important role.
So you mentioned the mediator will find you, if your phone's off or something of that nature. What happens if your phone's on? Are the messages still instant, or how does the mediator handle, finding you if you're already just kind of a part of the network?
That's a That's important from a user experience perspective. If you're offline, of course, the messages are queued. We have something enabled called live delivery mode, which allows a secure connection to via WebSockets is the underlying technology, to remain connected between a phone and the mediator itself, so that when new messages are delivered, they can be delivered immediately to the device without delay. It's quite fast. And it provides a great user experience. If a user has their phone out and they're engaged in the practice of issuing or presenting a credential, then DIDCOM messages that arrive from the other party arrive immediately on the phone for fast action. And so it's a very fluid and a fast user experience. That's one of the features that we have provided as part of our mediator service.
Are there any other features that people, should probably be aware of when looking for a mediator or a mediator service?
Absolutely. So this mediator supports both DIDCOM v1 and DIDCOM v2. DIDCOM v1 is used in a lot of deployed Aries ecosystems that leverage Aries software. And DIDCOM v2 is the newer version of the spec that has been developed at the Decentralized Identity Foundation. And we have more and more solutions deploying with DIDCOM v2. And that is also supported by this mediator within the same service. I also mentioned live delivery, and so those are some powerful features that can help you get started.
So you've mentioned DIDCOM a couple times, and I'm wondering, right, for passing verifiable credentials, I know there's a bunch of different protocols. Why did Indicio settle on DIDCOM specifically?
We're interested in DIDCOM because of what it provides. There are protocols that do verifiable credentials, but DIDCOM is really the best protocol for not only doing things like verifiable credentials, but other bidirectional communication type of things like notifications or confirmations over a secure channel, any customer support issues, or simply messaging to the user about the credentials that they are either receiving that is being issued to them or that are being verified. And so any things that go beyond the basic uses of verifiable credentials need something like DIDCOM, and DIDCOM is the leader within the SSI space as a protocol to enable that communication to happen in a secure and private way.
All right. And what security is involved? Because, right, if it's all about messaging, right, people obviously want to make sure that their messages aren't being read or watched or anything like that.
Absolutely. So this is a mediator, right? And so it plays the role of relaying a message from one party to another. The messages in DIDCOM are encrypted to the end recipient, and so as they pass through the mediator is unable to see. It does not have any of the cryptographic keys involved in that process, which means it's unable to see the contents of the message that pass through it, and so that information remains confidential and private and secure as it's transferring through the mediator itself.
All right, nice. So who is this service for, right? Like, is it just anybody can access it?
So DIDCOM doesn't technically require a mediator for every participant, and I'll explain. If you are running an agent that is highly available on the internet, runs on a regular server, the way we tend to think about internet servers, then a mediator is not required. You can use it, but it isn't required. Where it really comes into play, like I mentioned, is with serving things like mobile phones or other devices like laptops that humans use a lot. And if you are providing an application that a wallet app or any other application that uses DIDCOM, then you need to have a mediator at some point in order to make that message delivery reliable. Most folks don't want to become an expert in running a mediator themselves, and so we have this as a service so that people could use it and then get on to developing the apps that they're developing. We professionally manage it. We have a lot of experience doing so, and the system is designed for an incredible amount of scale, so that that's not a concern that the developer needs to have in part of that process.
All right. So I think you touched on it a little bit there, but if someone didn't want to use, the mediator or the mediated service, what are kind of their options when
There
looking?
are other mediators that exist. We have a previous one ourselves that you can deploy as an instance. That's easy to do. There's open source solutions that can provide mediation as well. But those are ones you're going to have to scale yourself. There's various types of scale. There's both the message volume that we're talking about, but there's also the number of WebSocket connections if you want the live delivery mode feature that you have to maintain at any given time. And that can be a difficult thing to arrange and to scale. And when we're talking about the types of ecosystems where we anticipate verifiable credentials being used and that are used today, they're quite big, and they have a large number, the requirement for a large number of users to be active and connected at any one time. And so this service provides mediation at that scale without worrying about how many instances or how many servers in the cluster that are providing this. That's all taken care of as part of this service that we provide.
All right. And you mentioned that it's professionally managed. So I'm curious if you could tell me a little bit more about that. Like if I just came to you and I was like, I want a mediator. Indicio handles everything. What is the
We handle everything. You talk to us about your needs and your requirements, and then we start up a mediator and make it available for your use. And then all of the scale up and scale down that happens during the normal use is handled within the system automatically in the monitoring of our team. We have a lot of experience running things at high scale, and this allows you to leverage the experience that our team has in making that work, so that it's not something that occupies your development time, and you can be spend time developing the features that are unique to your solution and that solve the problems that you have more directly.
okay? So you mentioned just briefly that Indicio already has a mediator. Why did we make this new one, if you could?
Scale. We needed a solution that we could test to the high scale that were necessary for large deployment scenarios. And this also works at some smaller scales, but the large scale is really where this is going to shine at being able to handle tens of thousands of simultaneously connected users to the and of course with not everyone's going to be connected at the same time, which means the total number of users in an ecosystem can be in the hundreds of thousands. And we can handle that. This is going to be important for any large deployment of this technology.
All right. And how hard is it to go even past that, right? Say someone needed millions of users. Is that a thing that Indicio could handle right now?
We can. The service has been created to scale to very large numbers, and we'd be happy to test onto your demands to make sure that it's ready to go, depending on all sorts of different factors, including the size of the messages that you'll be passing through the service, how frequently, how long you anticipate users being connected. Any of those factors, we can work with you to make sure that the solution will provide exactly what you need.
All right. So how difficult is it to get started? How quickly do you think this solution could be, implemented for someone that needed a mediator service?
So the mediator could be stood up pretty quick. The process though of configuring a mobile application to use it as a mediator typically is going to take a little bit longer according to the development timelines within your organization. But this is something that you can get started with nearly immediately, and then we can of course can scale up as you need to. So it's pretty simple because it's a professionally managed service. Pretty simple to get started.
All right, perfect. Well, it looks like that brings us to the end of our conversation, Sam. Thank you so much for joining us. If you at home are interested in verifiable credential technology and would like to learn more, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll continue to bring you some more educational content and the latest from the space. If you have any questions or specific topics that you'd like for us to cover, please go ahead and leave a comment below. We'll be sure to read and address them. And thank you again to you, Sam. If people are interested and would like to learn a little bit more about this, mediator service or the technology we've been discussing today, Where would you suggest they look?
Head to our website and take a look at the materials there. And then if you have any questions, please reach out. We'd be happy to talk to you.